How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I'm your host, Cosmic Ray. It's been a tough couple weeks, so I haven't done much on video, but that's okay. Um, it's been going through like the normal 3D life of just going through trials and tribulations, just like everybody else. I'm gonna have a video that's gonna come up in the next couple days or so. Something that did with one of my really good friends, just regards to like life in general. And I just wanted to be able to talk with you guys just for like a little bit. I'm keeping the lights on at the moment, just because, just because I feel like there's something like you guys are supposed to be seen in the background. As you know, I feel that it's not what I look like or anything of that nature. So I already know about the hair. Please don't say anything. um, it's just more of the message that comes across, especially lately. My accounts are flickering. Um, as you can see lately, it's I've been having the lights on, and for some reasons, like something is supposed to be showing more. As you can see, when I've done candle love, candle magic, my divinations, my candles kind of flicker, when I'm speaking my truths. As you can tell right now, they're kind of going little off. Normally, it's the time that I would turn off the lights. You know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and turn off the lights. As you can tell, the candles will go in and out every so often, and okay, all right, here we go. I've had some things going on that I've been starting to realize about life, about how sometimes people go through different things, different experiences of life, and some people feel like they're going, somewhat, I guess, crazy, or they feel that there's no justice, or there's no point. That every time you try to be good in this world, and you try to do everything that it takes just to try to make it, try to persevere, and you feel like something always tries to get you down. And I've been experiencing some of that, myself, and I'm sure as much as you out there, have been, too. And whew, man, just feeling something right now. Okay, so there's been, how do I say this? There's certain unfairness, that seems to happen with people, and regardless of how well they try to do it, the system kind of gets them down. Now, don't get me wrong; it's not like a blaming thing. It's not like, oh, what was this person or what was me, and in this sense, like what I'm talking about myself. No, it's just sometimes when you try to do things the right way or do things the good way, no matter what, and depending on what you look like, your experiences are, or maybe in this sense certain injustices, that kind of get you down. Even revolt, gender reversals, like role reversals. How example back in the day, men, stupid men who hopefully won't exist no longer. Or at least a mentality, they used to put women down. That's horrible, and I can only imagine what women had to go through just to kind of fight, just to go through this type of struggles. And as a man, I don't really know about those besides seeing it happen, through my sister, my mom, or loved ones, and and whatnot. And but growing up, in the '80s, it was a little different than back in the day, like in '40s or '50s, and sorry, hold on, and it's a little different. Now it's like the times are different. People are starting to understand about life and about love, and that putting women down, or in the sense certain genders down, it's not good. And as a guy, it's kind of funny for me because I feel like I'm in this gender reversal type of thing where I feel like I'm getting put down just because I'm a guy. And it's just kind of funny where I start to realize that at least maybe in the state that I'm in, where you start to realize, okay, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Women have been getting it, for a long time, forever. Even way back in the day. And so for me to even kind of like cry over spilled milk or to cry for certain things, it's BS in a sense. But at other times, where it's like, I grew up in the '80s. I wasn't part of this. I didn't do anything to put women down. Throughout my birth creation, at least in this lifetime, in this physical manifestation of myself, I do my best to try to at least from my understanding, treat women with respect. Unfortunately, I had a bad understanding as a kid, because when you grow up, you start watching movies, you're like, oh, okay, well, you want to be this quote unquote knight in shiny armor, but you don't realize that's not, in a sense, good, because you don't want anyone to feel like they're hopeless or anything like that, or helpless, or if you will. No one needs quote unquote saving. It's just, whatever, how TVs, movies, cartoons, or whatever it was, that kind of like changed that perspective, people. And then, of course, being a kid, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have to do this, or oh, I have to be nice, open up doors, and be quote unquote a gentleman. And then you grow up and you're like, no, I don't think that's not a lot what women want. You start growing up, start understanding things. I'm starting to understand it through different aspects, of my life. And most of the jobs I've had, I've actually been under women bosses. So for me, like, it was hard. Like, saw the I never saw that, I guess, and I guess that's good. I didn't have to like see through those injustices, as much. I usually see, as a positivity of like women in. Um, I don't even know how to say this, 'cause I hate talking about like labels about this kind of stuff. But I guess women that are in like a superior type of a job, or like you're like a boss kind of thing. That's for me. That's kind of cool. I'm like I said, most of the jobs I've had in my life were always like that. So it wasn't to a point where, I never had to experience too much of like, men putting women down or anything like that in a job. I've always seems like the most part, most jobs I've had, like there's been majority like women around versus guys, I guess. Another way of putting it. Um, so I'm starting to understand like about life and about like other things, about trying to understand like just people in general. So that's just kind of like what I wanted to, somewhat talk about. And it's not like more like, hey, check out my problems. I know it seems that way. But I just wanted to kind of explain certain things about, how, regardless of what you're going through in life, always try to look at the perspective of the other side, or what it could be. Not necessarily like the whole grass is always greener, but just appreciate you in this moment of life. Appreciate maybe the things that you did have versus the things you didn't have. Appreciate other things that that you go through, you see people go through in their struggles, and to be able to rise above, just for whatever it is. Not necessarily has to be like to a better job position. I mean, that could be it too, but not necessarily saying that. So I something where I just kind of recently just starting to experience that, myself, where I'm like, man, what the f did men do? Why do they do all that? Why do they do certain things to put women down? Why did they, what was it, like specifically? I mean, of course, I can go through like, a laundry list of, things of men being, blank bags, or whatever it was, to not, respect women and to put them, down. But lately, I've been starting to kind of see that. And don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful that, women are definitely having a lot more respect now. Hopefully now getting more equal pay and the right pay for what they're doing for their jobs. Um, it was just more of, I started to notice like that, but then I started noticing like, okay, we're progressing, but I feel like now are we like just non-progressing against, I guess, at least for me. I started to see that, where I'm like, I feel like just because I'm a guy, I'm not having certain things that happen, or just because I am a guy, um, the system doesn't work, for me, in a sense, versus something else. I'm sure some of you can already kind of put the pieces together, but of course, I don't want to say blatantly, what it is, that's going on in my life. But I start to understand, certain things of like how, the system, kind of works against, some people. And I start to realize how sometimes I can make other people go crazy, or other people start to like hate the system, or talk about the system, of how things are built, and how, and I don't know. I just feel like it's all crap. I mean, don't get me wrong. All of this is just an illusion, anyways. But it was just one of those funny, like when you start playing the game, life, and you start to start to try to quote unquote in your perception of thought of what you think is supposed to be the right way, or the start to be the nice approach to things that maybe um, it's not necessarily how that should be. So it's just one of those things that I start to notice. I haven't, even though I have my headphones on, I don't have any music on or anything like that. I just started to realize I didn't want to do any channeling right now or kind of go into it, like pulling information. But you can tell the lights are a little bit different than normal still, given that you've done like what I call like my amber, kind of like my like amber aura energy, the golden amber aura energy. So like I said, there was earlier in the video that you guys are going to be looking at a video later on, next couple days or so, depending on when this gets posted, about my friend and I going into depths about spirituality, a little bit about more about what we're going through in life. And it's kind of funny because it's one of those things where he's not used to seeing. So anyways, Cosmic Surfers, just want to say, please be strong out there, regardless, if you choose a sexual identity or not, or, if you're male, female, or non-gender binary, however, choose identify or non-identify, regardless of, what you are or who you are or what these labels are, that are supposed to be assigned to us. I just felt that like we're all just living souls, we're just all just here. I really want to say is like it really shouldn't matter at all what color, what we look like. If anything, it doesn't matter. Whatever things that were taught to us as a young individual growing up, to be able to feel like we're like identifying with everything because this is what we were told. Why can't we just live life just to live it and just to have fun and just to be able to be ourselves? Just be our soul and soul, if you will. Anyways, so hope you all are finding the synchronicities of life and following them. And when those things come up, of these random moments of life, to try to just open up your heart and your mind, just to see if what would happen when you start following it. So, thank you, Cosmic Surfers. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care.